It was a cold January afternoon in New York City. Commuters rushed through subway stations, yellow taxis honked through jammed intersections, and over the Hudson River, planes lifted into the crisp winter air. To millions of people, it was just another Thursday. But for 155 passengers boarding a short flight out of LaGuardia Airport, that ordinary day was about to become unforgettable.
Twist, twist, twist of fate radio.
The Airbus A320 prepared for takeoff. Business travelers flipped open newspapers, parents distracted restless children, and frequent flyers settled in for a routine trip south. The aircraft gathered speed, engines humming as it rolled down the runway. Then, with a smooth lift, the plane rose into the sky. For a moment, everything felt normal. But just 3 minutes after liftoff, fate intervened. Out of nowhere, a flock of Canadian geese streaked across the plane's path. There was no time to swerve. The birds slammed into both engines with a sickening thud. Instantly, the familiar roar of jet engines was replaced by silence. Warning alarms blared. The A320 had lost thrust in both engines. Inside the cabin, confusion spread quickly. Some passengers thought the plane had simply hit turbulence. But as the aircraft began to descend, faces went pale. A child cried. A businessman muttered a prayer. Flight attendants hurriedly called out commands, trying to calm rising panic. In the cockpit, the crew had only seconds to act. Their first instinct was to turn back toward LaGuardia, but the plane was dropping too fast. Teterboro Airport in New Jersey flashed across the captain's mind, another possible landing strip. Yet with every passing second, the options shrank. Below, the jagged skyline of Manhattan loomed, packed with millions of people. The captain considered the unthinkable. A failed return would mean striking buildings, turning one disaster into another. He scanned the horizon, then lowered his gaze. Below him stretched the Hudson River, a long, icy ribbon cutting through the city. It wasn't an airport. It wasn't even meant for aircraft. But it was wide. It was open. And it might be the only chance left. He made his decision. "We're going to be in the Hudson," he told air traffic control. The words were calm, steady, masking the life-or-death gamble behind them. In the cabin, the flight attendants shouted a single command. "Brace! Brace! Heads down!" Passengers bent forward, gripping seats and each other, their hearts pounding as the powerless plane descended. Within seconds, the A320 skimmed low over the George Washington Bridge. Commuters on the highway looked up in shock as the jet cleared them by mere feet. And then it hit. The belly of the plane slammed against the river with a deafening splash, sending icy water spraying into the air. The fuselage groaned but held. Instead of shattering on impact, the plane slid across the surface like a skipping stone, and against every expectation, came to rest intact, floating on the Hudson. Inside, disbelief turned to relief. People gasped, cried, laughed through tears. The danger wasn't over. Water seeped in. Temperatures hovered just above freezing. But the passengers were alive. They scrambled onto the wings, huddled together in the bitter cold. Almost immediately, help surged toward them. Ferries, police boats, and first responders raced across the river. Crews pulled passengers to safety, wrapping them in blankets, rushing them to warmth. The city watched in awe as one by one, all 155 souls were rescued. Not a single life was lost. And here's the twist. The man who made that daring call was Captain Sully Sullenberger. His decision to forego the airports and instead use the Hudson River turned certain disaster in what the world soon called the Miracle on the Hudson. In less than 4 minutes, his training, composure, and instinct changed the fate of everyone aboard and left aviation history with a story of hope instead of tragedy. Thanks for listening to Twist of Fate Radio. I'm Angela Clark. Curious how fate works? Find more twists and share your own at twistoffateradio.com.